Now it's the podcast.
Hello, my name is Ziak.
And my name is Nick.
And this is She Killed the Podcast, Careless Opinion, dear bud.
Oh, yeah, it is there, bud.
And you know what that means?
What?
Dude, roll the intro. So, what are you drinking, bud? We gotta start this podcast the only way you start a podcast.
That is true. The best way to start a podcast is what are you drinking? And what are you drinking?
yeah,
it turns around.
I just asked you that question.
Did my reverse card on you.
What is? I don't even...
Yeah, you know, we probably should have...
Intratietic. It's a... it's from Orpheus. That would make things a lot easier. It's a dragon fruit and mango sour ale from Orpheus.
Oh, very nice. How is it?
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good?
Yeah. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking... It is called Handcrafted Atlanta Hard Cider Co. The Hokage. The Haze. Tiki Haze. I'm very dyslexic. It's a craft cider. It's pretty tasty.
It's a cider, dear bud. Good?
Oh, yeah. Good.
Oh,
Can I sip on your sippy?
Yeah, take a little sip. Hold on. Oh, dude. Wow, that's really good. Oh,
it's pretty tasty. That beer is really good, too.
That's some good stuff. All right, man. Let's dive on in.
Let's dive it on in now.
So this podcast, as you can see, is called Band Days.
Not to be confused with Band-Aids that you put on your boo-boos.
Yeah. So this podcast is going to be about what it was like for us doing music and the difference of like when we were doing it compared to how people are doing it now. Maybe a good starting point would be just the difference of, I guess, like the grind.
Yeah.
Of being in a local band compared to like what we were doing compared to what I see now in like the local band community where it's just
completely different.
It's not even
it's
a grind.
So different. Yeah, it's very different.
You just kind of show up to your band practice, you record 7 songs, and then you post one to YouTube, and you hope for the best, kind of.
Yeah, pretty much. If whoever has the most dank music video wins.
Oh, your music video had like 2 buckets of blood? Fucking winner.
Yeah. You win, Deb.
You win, Deb. Well, I mean, like, there's some bands that still, like, grind.
Oh, yeah.
Like, one of the local bands that we've talked about a lot, which, if you never heard of them and you do like metal, go check out Left to Suffer.
They're sick.
Holy crap.
Yep.
They have been grinding for a while, and I mean, their grind is awesome. They do live updates. They re-recorded one of their songs recently and made it more high def. They have a music video for the song Loathe. I mean, dude, they are doing it right.
Yeah, they kind of really adapted that old school grind and made it and brought it to the new gen, if you will.
Yeah,
they're doing like the new gen. You gotta be like social media. Well, you've always had to do social media, but like you gotta be doing like YouTube. Really cool thing that one band does, Spirit Box, and I think Left to Suffer does it as well. They stream Q&As, which is...
They do, yeah.
Which is a necessity nowadays.
Well, that's the thing. You really have to make yourself known. You can't just be like, oh, here's a song we wrote. You have to interact with fans. You have to really push yourself. And I don't really see too much of that nowadays. Like, don't get me wrong, the local, like, metal scene in Georgia's kind of dead.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the grind still exists, at least with Left to Suffer. And then, like there's a few bands like Six, who we knew the drummer for. He used to be our drummer. Hint, hint, Seth.
Seth, you're a robot.
There's your shout out. And that's all you get. But no, Six is another local band that does really well as they actually promote. They play local shows. They have a music video out, but it wasn't like just, oh, here's a music video. We've never done anything else. Where there's a lot of local bands who play like 1 or 2 shows, and then it's like, here's a music video. It's like,
cool.
No one knows who you are.
Yeah.
Like, you're not the world's biggest band. You can't just do that.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, it's... The grind today, I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah, me too. We've talked about this multiple times. Yeah.
I'm peanut butter and jelly.
It seems a lot... Believe it or not, it seems a lot easier now, and we're not trying to be like those old geezers that back in my day, it was super hard. It's like, no, nowadays, it's like the internet is so much more accessible.
Yeah.
Like, more people can get on it, so it seems easy. It's not, for us to say it's easy, easy is still hard.
Yeah,
Like,
no, 100%. The idea that we have of like it's easier than it was, it does not mean it's easy. It's still really tough.
Yeah, like one thing I've learned from doing this in particular is I was like, oh, doing a podcast is going to be easy. No, it's a grind.
Yeah.
And being a local band, like you have to do social media and everything, and that's something that Zach is having to teach me because I'm terrible at social media.
Want to know where our Instagram and our videos look so good? You're welcome.
Thank you, Zach.
Yeah.
I'll be sending a check your way.
I want some royalties, bitch. That intro song, all me.
Dude, yeah. So, yeah, our intro song, which is a total banger, I must say.
Big bops.
Big bops. Big bops. Sir Zach over here did everything.
Yeah,
so,
2 hours on GarageBand and a few drinks later, I was like, sounds pretty good.
It does. It's amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's that. So I mean that's really all we really wanted to touch on like how that grind works. It's the other thing I guess I would add is I really do wish you saw more bands grinding. I wish there was more straight up and down local shows here, and I'm sure in other places it's very different. But in Georgia, the grind's not as real, and I miss going to like local shows. Like, oh, these 6 local bands are playing, and it's like there's 3 you know of and 3 who are just starting. That was such a cool way when we were doing music. That bands got noticed and you made yourself more well known in like the music community in our area, as well as like, oh, this band's Instagram or Facebook, whatever, in our day at least, this band's MySpace has, 700 like friends and all these views, and at the end of one of their things, it's like, go to our YouTube and check it out. And then on their YouTube, they're talking about other bands that are local to help. And you don't see that anymore. It's a very free-for-all kind of thing. Like, there are bands who, like, shout out other bands, but it's not how it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be, like, local bands, you had each other's back. Like, you were ride or die. Mm-hmm. Like, you would be like, oh, yeah, dude, check out this band, this band, this band. Now it's like a free-for-all. It's like you go to a local scene and they're ripping themselves and there's no shout outs. Like, you're not helping like your fellow musicians.
You're not doing anything.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, because one thing that I like about what we're doing is we're trying to help, or like not help, but like you got to rep your friends, man.
Yeah.
Like, your friends are your ride or die.
I'm not friends with anyone in Left to Suffer, and I'm still like, go check out Left to Suffer now.
Well, our friend Josh, he actually knows the drummer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Regardless, go check out Left to Suffer.
Check them out. They are sick. They're not like Killing Floor the video game, which is what I thought. That's how I remembered their name. I was like, Killing Floor, Left to Suffer. They're similar.
That's them.
Yeah, check them out. They are absolutely sick. I saw them open up for Ginger here in Atlanta, and they were they were the opener. There's 3 other bands. They were better than the 3 other bands that opened up for Ginger. Ginger, of course, was the best band in my opinion because I really like Ginger.
Yeah.
And then it was Left to Suffer. They absolutely annihilated. They were like the vocalist was like, I know you don't know us, but come knock me out on stage. You won't do it. You won't do it. Knock me. I'm a big guy. Knock me out. I dare you. That was his stage presence. I was like, respect.
See, that's another big thing in local bands you don't see anymore. Stage presence is kind of dead.
Yeah.
No one goes crazy on stage anymore.
Yeah, they're all like...
Everyone stands in their little box and, you get a good little guitar solo and it's the guitarist shredding through a solo. It may sound good, but all he's doing is staring at the rafters with his eyes closed. And people are like, no, dude, he's feeling the music. No, what he's feeling like is how hot it is and he wants to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, Left to Suffer, they got like their guitar players and they're just like, fuck.
Oh, yeah, no, they're nuts, dude.
They're
jamming. Nuts. So... music, man, I'll take the wheel on it, and then you can add into it. Because I know every time we've attempted this, you always go first. So I was like, you know what, let me try going first this time.
You go first, Zachary.
Music careers. Good God, where do we start? I got thrown into a band. I was like 15, 16. It was the dumbest way I've ever been thrown into anything. This dude comes up to me and he goes, do you listen to Bless the Fall? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, so I heard you talking a minute ago. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you sound like their vocalist when you talk, so you must be able to sing and scream like him. And this was Bless the Fall with Craig Mabbitt. Let me tell you who I'm just not. Craig Mabbitt. I wish, but I'm not. And it turned into this whole thing where I showed up to a band practice, had no idea what I was doing. It was me, a drummer, and a guitarist. In respect to both of them, I mean, they're both really good musicians. I'll give them that. And it was just kind of like this awkward moment of like, okay, we're a band now. And then I think like 3 weeks later, we had a full set list, a bassist, and we were opening for a local band in Georgia called Loa. They're not a band anymore, unfortunately, but we were opening for them at the Masquerade. And I think we ended up going on like second, and it was like a 5-band lineup, and I mean, we killed it. We had a lot of fun. I thought it sounded great. And the vocalist for the band Loa, who I knew really well, who'd known me for years, was like, hey, can I talk to you? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, don't trust your drummer. And I was like, why? And he was like, cuz it's a piece of shit. Get out of this now before you, like, while you can. And I'm like, nah. Boy, I should have listened to that bullshit. So I think like a year is what I spent in that band. I mean, we did a lot of shows. Yeah, we played that. We were in that band for a while. And then we wanted to get a second guitarist. This dude was like the choice, and his name was Zach. And I said, no, there can only be one. I'm Highlander, motherfucker. Like, no. And I showed up to band practice one day, and this kid's got my mic, and they're running through a few songs, and I'm like, whoa. What's going on? And my drummer's like, can I talk to you outside? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, so we want to go in like a heavier direction. I'm like, me too.
Dope.
Great. And he goes, without you.
Oh.
And I'm like, what did you do? Huh? So I got kicked out. And what's so dumb is, and I don't know what the truth technically is behind this, but I know what I was told and what I saw was we had a local record company called Viking apparently taking interest in us. And they kicked me out when a record label was interested. And I think I was 16 when that happened. And that's where our weird stories kind of intersect.
Yeah.
So go ahead with your weird story, and then we can meet at the end point.
Meet at the end point? Okay, cool. So my story, my origin story, if you will, is a little different. Where I wasn't. It's kind of similar, I guess, because I had a friend who was a drummer, and we had been drumming. I was 16 when I was brought into this band, but we had been drumming since we were like middle school, early high school, and this band, they needed a guitar player because the guitar player bailed. And so my friend who was the drummer was like, hey, I know a guy that can play guitar. It's Nick. And I can play guitar. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
And so they came, and the vocalist reached out to me, and he was like, hey, we need you to learn 6 songs in 2 weeks. And thinking back on it, like now that I had that much free time, it wasn't that much. But at the time, I was like, 6 songs in 2 weeks? Impossible! And so that's where the journey began. And my source material for the songs were written on napkins. Keep in mind, we're 16, and you have the, dude, just plain college ruled paper has lines on it. Just block off 6 and write tabs on that. Anyway, I'm kidding aside of it. Anyway, so I learned 6 songs in 2 weeks. Source material on napkins. We wrote a song, and my only source material besides the tabs was one video for one song that they played live, and it was inaudible. Anyway, so we played my first show as a metal guitar player. I had done like School of Rock things, which is like you sign up for like this pre-made band and you play cover songs. So this was like my actual first legit show, and I was super stoked. And a fun little side point, I actually what really inspired me was actually seeing, I went to a house show that Zach played, And seeing them, I was like, dude, I want to do this. Like, I want to form my own band. So that
was the big house show.
That was the big house show. Yeah, you had lights and everything.
I had like 100 and something people crammed into a basement.
Yeah,
and someone got thrown through like a window.
Yeah,
and,
that was a fun house show. So
that was a gnarly show, dude.
That was the show that like inspired me. That like when I got that offer, I was immediately like, yes, I wanna be like my old friend, pretty much.
I haven't talked to him in years. I'm not going to muster up the courage for another 4.
Yeah.
But I really want to do shows like him.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut up.
I hate you. I love you.
I hate you.
But anyway, so my first show, I learned all those songs, and we played a little show, just like a tiny show for a band. It was a Bullet for Pretty Boy, a little band called Our Last Night, and then the headliner was a little band called Asking Alexandria. It was sick.
I'm gonna pull the knife from my back and stab me in the chest.
I love underselling that because I love your reaction so much.
God, it makes me so angry. You got to play with my hero.
It's kind of funny because after we played that show, like one dude came over. He's like, "Hey, will you sign my shoe?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll sign your shoe, whatever." And then there was like this group of girls that came over that wanted a selfie, and they're like, "Hey, can we get a selfie with you?" And we're like, we weren't that good, but yeah, we'll do a selfie. And like right before, I'm not even kidding, right before the picture was taken, the one thing that got us to smile was, which one of you is Danny?
You know, there's somewhere on some random girl's Facebook page a picture of like you and that whole band. Just met Asking Alexandria.
It's like, who are those normies? Like,
if I didn't know you and I saw someone post that, I don't normally go into making mean like Instagram posts or like comments. I'd rip that person in fucking
You'd have to.
I'd rip them in half. How dare you compare that weird skinny kid with glasses to Danny Warsnop? Kid's probably a weeb.
But yeah, after that...
yeah, continue.
After that, we adopted a new drummer who then just kind of like... missed everything, and I knew this drummer because he was actually the drummer
that kicked me out.
Yeah, and he kicked our vocalist out the exact same way.
Didn't he? Didn't you say like he kicked out the vocalist, brought on another vocalist, kicked that vocalist out, and then wanted to do vocals?
Yeah, pretty much. And he kicked our vocalist out by inviting the new vocalist after we had practice with our old one, and he kicked out our old vocalist in front of our new vocalist.
What the hell?
Yeah, he's a good dude now, I think. I don't know. I don't keep up with him.
I'm indifferent. I'm a little indifferent to that. I have no comment.
To put this into perspective, like on my end, we formed like 3 different bands, and then we eventually got the new vocalist, or the original vocalist back, and then I got kicked out because I was too focused on school. Like, you're gonna kick someone out for wanting to further their education? What the heck?
Way to go, you piece of shit.
Yeah, but then our paths crossed again, and that brings us to this intersection.
So our paths crossed in a really kind of... It was kind of weird. We had started talking a little bit. We had hung out a few times at like our local neighborhood Sonic with all the other scene kids. And you and I were talking, and you were like, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, of course." And you're like, "Do you want to maybe like do a band?" It had been years since I'd even like been on a stage too, and I was like, "Sure." And there was kind of like that. There was like that self-conscious part of me to an extent. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a cocky human. I own a mirror. I know what I look like. I'm cocky.
You're a pretty human being.
Yeah, that's what I got. That's all I got going for me right now. I'm good looking. That's what I have going for me.
He's very attractive.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
I just want to see it.
I just want to see it now. So when the face reveal comes out and it's real awkward and I'm not that attractive, you're all like, "Wow, Nick's a liar." At Nick in the comments.
Yeah.
There's my one for the video.
Yeah.
I found the way to work it in. You like that? It was good.
That.
It was good, right?
It was very good.
Thank you. I know. I worked hard on that pitch. But so he's like, "Yeah, do you want to do this band?" And I was like, yeah, sure. But like the self-conscious part of me was so like, oh God, because I got kicked out of that one band. And I was told, like, by not everyone in that band, but, like, two main people in that band after I was kicked out, and I, like, sent a text saying, like, dude, like, what the hell? I thought we were, like, best friends. Like, you could have done this in a much more subtle way. Like, I'm trying to be a good friend. I was told, like, oh, honestly, like, you're the biggest, like, POS I've ever met. You can't sing. You can't scream. Like, you're really bad, actually. That's why I'm kicking you out. We don't want to go heavier. We just don't want to be in a band with you anymore. Like, I just tried to smooth things over, and I get ripped in half and told I'm a big old POS, and I'm awful at vocals. And I was like...
That's weird.
Well, that sucks. So there was a lot of self-consciousness with that of, like, oh, God. I think I'm, like, surprisingly still a little self-conscious about it up to, like, even today, where, like...
Really?
I don't know what it was. That really kicked my ego square in the nads.
Jeez, because I specifically recruited you because I liked your vocals.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank God someone did.
I was like, he's free? Yeah, I'm gonna hit up an old friend.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, Nick goes, let's do this band. I said, okay. And he starts listing the people that are gonna be in this band. And it's super funny because it's people I've known for years who I would have, like, never expected to be like, oh, these guys will do metal.
Seth was the big one for me. I can't believe I got Seth.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea. He was like, yeah, I play drums. And his girlfriend at the time, she was like, oh yeah, my boyfriend plays drums. And I was like, I have language arts with him. Are you sure he plays baseball? Are you
He was
sure?
he was very much so like your jock kind of popular kid in high school to an extent. And when I walked into his basement for that first band practice, I was like, there's no way this kid
That's what I thought too.
is gonna, like, shred it. And he was like, well, how do you guys want to warm up? And I was like, beats the hell out of me. Surprise me. And he just started going in. I think we warmed up with Bow Down by Born of Osiris. And he added extra drum fills. I'm like, who are you?
Are you human? Seth's a robot.
Seth confirmed. Seth's a robot. Look it up on Wikipedia.
We had the most, like, misfit
Most ragtag idiots you've ever seen attempting
and it just
to play
worked
shows.
out. Like, Christian, the only reason I asked him because he played bass with me in orchestra.
Yeah.
Because you were the first person I hit up because I was like, all right, I've known this guy since kindergarten. I know he's, one, reliable.
Yeah.
Two, I've seen him perform live. I know he's good, or at least I liked your vocals. And then I was like, okay, so I'm going to hit up Zach, and then everyone else followed after. Because I was like, I know that you and I can find...
Yeah, because you knew who you wanted to recruit, and you told me the guys, and I'm like, okay, because then our bassist came from a very, like, funky, like, jazz kind of background when he wanted to play music. I mean, like, I would sit there and try to show him, like... Remember, I was hanging out with him one day, and I was like, I would love to do something like this. And I showed him Immaculate Misconception by Emotionless and White, and he was like, I hate this. And I was like, there's no way this guy's going to want to do this. And he got on stage and he was like, screw it, metal. And he went every time. He crushed it.
He didn't listen to metal until we were in a band.
I don't think he really listened to it even when we were in a band. He listened to our music.
Christian, if you hear this, feel free to correct us in the comments.
I can't say my comment. I already used it. Damn it.
Yeah.
You
get one per cast, man.
No, I get one per video. I won't say it again, so I just want to. But so we played a few shows. I think our first show was at the Masquerade as well.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who we were playing with, but it was a 5-band lineup, and we showed up hella late. I'm not going to say whose fault that was.
Seth!
Nasty cough.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I'm 6 feet away.
6 feet. 6 feet. 6 feet.
Just a dab. You got to be a dab length away.
So I'm a dab length away, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, we're fine.
We're good.
We're fine. And so we showed up super late, and we're like, oh, God, we're going to get in trouble. And the Masquerade was like, you're late? What are you doing? You missed your sound check? You need to be on stage in 15 minutes. And we're like, uh-oh, this is going to sound bad. And then the vocalist for the band, who was like the headliner, again, I cannot remember who it was, and I knew him at the time. I feel like kind of a POS for it, but he goes, no, to the owner of the Masquerade, because he knew him. He's like, I know these guys. They're going to kill it. They're going on third. And we're like, what?
What? You said what?
We just got a really good time slot.
Yeah.
So we played our third band time slot, and holy crap. we wrecked that venue.
Yeah.
We did real. I was really happy with that show. And what's so funny about it is even afterwards, like I remember the main band at the end of it was like thanking all the bands, and he went in order and he skipped us, and I was like,
Oh, you
crap. We did not do anything memorable. And he goes, and I want to give it up for insert band name here, because we are not going to follow any of that, and no one's going to follow that. We had a giant applause. I was like,
I couldn't believe it.
Whoa!
Like, thanks, man.
Thanks, bro. And then that main band made us look awful because they were so good.
They're so good.
So good. And then we played the Free Flow show, and this is where we get to talk about stage presence a little bit.
Oh, man.
So, what we said earlier, stage presence is kind of dead, and the reason I made that comment is because stage presence is a big deal when you're in a band, and Nick and I had the stage presence of two cats you just gave catnip to and then injected them with meth. Because we were lunatics on stage.
My favorite band's stage, just for a reference, my favorite band's stage presence is The Chariot. Jubilant.
Yeah.
That's...
You want an idea what we look like on
Yeah.
stage? Go Google the band The Chariot, and you'll be like, wow.
Oh,
wow, they did not hold still.
That's why we have back pains.
Yeah, it's all you. My back pains are from you. It's your fault that I have back pains.
We were trying to dodge each other's like guitars and microphones.
Yeah, half the show was spent with our bassist backing way the hell up, and Nick throwing his guitar around like a madman, and me having to Matrix dumb Keanu Reeves on it over here, slow-mo and everything, maintaining vocals, and then me swinging the mic around. That mic was so taped up. Do you remember how taped up that mic was?
Goodness,
Yeah,
yes.
it had to be, or it was gonna fly off.
Yeah.
And Nick is literally like crouched down, pretty much like attack crab pouring it, and you just see a mic over his head five times.
So I would crab core bounce so I could like dodge the mics, and then when I went up, I would swing my guitar so he would go down to dodge the
We
guitar.
legitimately did choreographed band practice. We did.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, if you're gonna do this, I need to do this. I need to know when you're gonna do it. What song are you gonna go the craziest? He's like, I'm gonna go craziest on this one, and I'm like, shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, I forgot about that. We really did do.
We
It's
literally
like,
had
this
to,
is
like-
the song I'm gonna go nuts on. It's like, okay, I'll chill out.
When this one starts, dude, when this
Yeah.
breakdown hits, you need to move, Zach. And I'm like, great. When this hits, you need to move, Nick.
Yeah,
We
10
got-
feet to the right.
We got nuts on
Yeah.
stage. At that masquerade show. I know this is one of your favorite stories because you always keep telling me to say it every time we've gone to do these recordings. You're always like, the masquerade show, you just whopped that kid in the face.
You did.
So I got real good with a mic, and there was this neat little mic trick that I knew. And then, yeah, I know you're stoked
Say the
about
band.
it.
Say the band so I can laugh.
Taking Back Sunday. So, the vocalist for Taking Back Sunday has like the coolest mic tricks in existence. So does Craig Mabbitt from Escape the Fate and Bless the Fall too. His mic tricks are stupid. And there's this one trick where you have the mic cord around your elbow, and you're on the mic in your hand. You have a little extra slack, and you can sling it forward, and you can rip it right back. You can sling it forward. It'll go up and around your elbow again, and you can recatch it. In middle of one of our like heaviest songs at the Masquerade, there's like this tiny like 1 second pause during this breakdown, and I saw this one kid in the front just going ham. He didn't deserve this.
He was such a nice guy.
He was so nice. He was twice my size, and after I did this, I was like, I'm gonna get my ass kicked in the parking lot. That's gonna be the main show. 10 o'clock, come to the parking lot, buy some tickets. I'm gonna get hurt. These tickets are paying for my hospital bill. I just flung it, and I learned how to fling this thing so quick that I could like, smack you in the face with it, and you wouldn't know. And he's dead staring at me right before this breakdown. I just went, move, and I just flung this thing and just right in the face. Like, solid in between the nose and the lip, like right on that bridge area on your upper lip.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
and he just did not give a shit.
Yeah, back then it was like...
It was like an honor.
It was an honor. It's
I
like,
remember I did it, and you gave me this look of like, what are you doing? Like, I'm beating up the audience, nerd. What are you doing? Playing your stupid little git fiddle? Yeah, that was a good one. That I know that like that's one of your favorites.
yeah, I think that was Was that Funny Hats?
Yeah, it was during we had a song called "Funny Hats on Bearded Men," Where the name came from beats the hell out of me.
We had a lot
But
of
that
good
song
songs.
went hard. That was one of our heaviest.
Yeah, that was the one, like, after, like, I, like, flung my guitar, and it, like, flew off, and I, like, barely caught it, and I was like, good thing this is the last song. I was, like, halfway off stage, and you were, like, looking at me, and you're like,
we have one more
song. And I was like, oh, no.
We had a 7-song set. We hit 6, and Nick's like, I'm done. I'm like, no, you're not.
This one's called Water Wings. I was like, oh, I like this one.
Yeah, we always ended it on one of our, like, softer... Remember when we played Water Wings in the Masquerade? It wasn't even finished.
Oh, yeah,
Remember,
that's right,
I looked at you dead in the face at a point, and I was like, this isn't finished. When we hit X part of the song, I want you to just go into a tremolo, and I looked at everyone in the band, and I was like, when Nick starts hitting that tremolo, start riding up for a good little ending to it. Figure it out. That's when I'll do, like, the final thank you guys so much. We're insert band name here. And it worked really well to the point that we always ended it with that song.
Yeah.
We winged it our first show playing it, and it was like, wow, that sounds great. Lucky us.
One of my favorite songs, to be honest.
I still have it.
We were a metal band that had, like, alternative rock riffs. It was cool. Well, maybe one day we'll play an acoustic.
Yeah, and then so that band ended. I was looking at going to college at the time, and I told them, like, all very honestly, like, look, I want to do this, but, like, I'm looking at school, and I was looking at school in a different state. Remember, I was looking at a place in Florida because I wanted to go do tattooing.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I was looking to go to Florida and spending, like, 6 months in Florida learning tattooing and a bunch of other stuff, and then I was gonna, like, apprentice in Florida for a year. That was the original goal. That didn't happen. Got a lot of tattoos. Didn't happen, though.
Mm-hmm. You do have a lot of tattoos.
I have a lot of tattoos. And so, like, that ended. I ended up not going, and I told them, like, look, I'm not going. And they're like, it's okay, man, we get it. Because then Christian was going to college. Seth got a scholarship for baseball. Mm-hmm. You were starting college. We literally all at the same time were like, we're going to school.
Yeah.
And then I ended up not going. Nick ended up going to school locally. Seth, I don't even think Seth went. No, he did go. He did.
He's a mechanical engineer.
Oh, yeah, he did go. And
he's the big boy. He got the big boy
and
degree.
then Christian got a big boy job doing audio engineering.
Yeah.
After school. And I think it was like...
It was just us.
Yeah, well, like, it was like...
In the area, at least.
Yeah, it was like a year and a half later, you hit me up, and you're like, yo, I know some guys, and we wrote this song, and we can't do anything with it, but I have the rights to it. I need vocals.
Yeah, Seth was actually in that band. He came. He was driving from. We won't say the area, but it was like an hour and a half drive just to do it. And then he was like, "Yeah, I can't do this anymore."
Yeah, and I was like, "Okay, sure. Show me the song." And we're gonna end it on this note after I explain what the song was like. Anyone who listens to metal understands song structure. Nick doesn't. Nick doesn't know what the term structure means. I'm not sure if he knows what the term song means.
It was a banger.
It was a banger. I'm giving it to you. And I'm sitting there. And
I can't read, but I can count.
And I'm listening to the song, and I'm like, this is so good. Where the hell can I even come in on? There's no good count to come in on. Yeah, so the whole 30-second intro is just silent. That wouldn't sound good. If it was an intro track, it would have sounded good, but it wasn't an intro track. And we spent like 3 months recording one song because we'd get halfway through it, we'd listen to it, I'm like, damn it, they don't line up. Erase it. Try it again. That sounds good, we gotta delete this part. Next. To the point where I'd be like, Nick, can you turn on a metronome or something? And Nick would be like, so the thing about it is, when we wrote this at the studio, the guy was literally like, I don't even know what time signature this is in. There was no like 1, 2, 3, 4, or like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. None of that. Nope.
We wrote it with we wrote it on a click. Don't get me wrong, but we wrote it on a click.
Did you?
Yeah, but without an accent.
So that's why that song sucked for me to record, and it took 2 months.
There's a lot of time signature changes. There's a lot of tempo changes. The dude that recorded it didn't even know how to like change the click track. So
my god! Who did you? Don't answer that.
You know who it is.
Oh, I do. Yeah, don't answer that one.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal producer now. He knows all this stuff.
But I know he's phenomenal now, dude.
We hit him up back when he was first starting, and he was like, "Yeah, what time signature is this?" And we're like, "I don't know." We just wrote it because we had like an Arabic scale that we were writing it to, and he was like, "Okay, what tempo is it?" And I was like, "Fast."
That's descriptive.
Yeah.
What tempo? The fastest one.
Yeah, it was like kind of big.
Yeah, it was an impossible
It's that
song.
one. It's that one.
It's that one. Yeah, that. Anyone who knows what that tempo is, please write in the comments, because I don't know what it is. Well, that's all the time we have today for Careless Opinion.
Oh no, I'm super sad.
I know. It's the end of it though. But thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you know what that means, Nick?
What does that mean, Zach?
It's time for me to do my dumb little typical outro. Don't you dare! You know it's coming. Leave this video without liking it,
Commenting,
subscribing,
sharing,
caring,
clicking that little bell icon
Yup.
for notifications. Yeah.
and following us on Instagram. Which you can follow us right on Instagram right after this. Actually, you can go to the top of our little page there, where our little banner is, and click the little Instagram icon. You can follow us pretty easily.
That's pretty dope.
It's pretty dope. And you know what that means? We will see you guys next time. Bye.
Podcast.